So, TCA peels, facial peel, or for your stretch marks, tattoos, fine lines, wrinkles, pores, pop marks. But there's a lot of uses for it. My options, I sell them in drams. This is a dram. It's pretty big, and about the size of my pinky. A little bit wide. It's a little fat thing. It's 100% that I sell. Never, ever, ever put 100% on your skin. You will burn it bad. You want to burn from TCA, but you don't want a severe burn from 100%. Dilute it to about 20 to 25% for your face and even your stretch marks. You can use a 50% on your stretch marks and tattoos and other kind of scars like scar tissue and stuff like that. It does hurt. On the 20 to 25%, it tingles. Some people do say that it does hurt, but to me it just tingles. I hear a lot of 20-25% tingles. 50% it burns. Sometimes when you apply it, it froths, meaning the skin temporarily turns a white color. Don't panic, that's normal. It doesn't really mean too much. Sometimes it'll turn just red, sometimes it'll froth, but it doesn't really mean that you're going to get better results from the two. Frothing is normal. Don't freak out. It normally goes away within 20 minutes. After you apply the TCA peel, it'll be about 2 to 3 minutes before it starts tingling. Use a Q-tip to apply the TCA peel to your skin because you're not going to use too much of the product and you don't want to waste the product. Don't store it in containers that have any kind of metal on them, like the top or anything like that. TCA really has a bad effect when it comes into contact with metal tops, so try not to use that. Don't store with 100% in anything else besides glass. You can use a plastic bottle if you dilute it to like 20-25%. Even 50%, I do store it in plastic containers sometimes, but not for a long period of time. As far as prepping the skin, I use rubbing alcohol. A lot of people say no, don't ever use that, but I always use rubbing alcohol. If you're scared to use rubbing alcohol because it strips away all the oils in your skin, okay, fine, use witch hazel or something else. That's fine. But like I said, I've never had any problems, and I used to have TCA peel parties all the time, and I've never had a problem on anybody's skin with using rubbing alcohol. You just want to make sure that you have a clean face, all the oil's gone, no soap residue or makeup or anything else is left on it. After you apply the TCA, you want to do just swiping motions. Make sure that your Q-tip is always wet, saturated, but not dripping. Make sure you don't get it like, all over the place or in your eyes or in your nose or in your mouth or even on your lips. You don't want this stuff on your lips. It'll mess up your lips. So anyways, make sure the Q-tip is always wet. Do even strokes. I like to do in sections. I normally do my forehead, then my nose, my cheek, and then my chin. But sometimes I'll stop like in the middle, and then if I'm not sure what strength to use, I'll do like my forehead. And then if I'm not feeling too much of a tingle, sometimes I'll do another layer. But that's after like 3 or 4 minutes after the first layer is applied, because I don't want to go after 1 minute and apply another layer and then within a couple minutes it's burning so bad because I shouldn't have done the second layer. It takes time to penetrate deep into your skin. And once it's done or once it absorbs within that 2 to 3 minutes, it's too late. It's in your skin. It self-neutralizes within 20 minutes. You don't have to wash it off. A lot of websites say that you have to wash it off, and you don't. What I normally do is I'll keep a bowl of really cold water with some ice floating in it with a washcloth, because sometimes it does burn a little too much. But you want to go and try to wait it out at least 2 to 3 minutes so it actually penetrates the skin. After that, it's okay to grab that washcloth and get it really wet and wring it out and everything and dab your face. That's totally fine because it's already absorbed into your skin after a couple minutes. As far as healing, sometimes people get a little frustrated because they don't see really deep peeling. It's a medium peel, but sometimes when you go and do 20%, if you do a couple layers, sometimes it does peel off pretty well. Sometimes it just flakes. It all depends. And some people will have it to where it'll be red and then it'll turn like a little brown color. And I mean, I say it's crusty looking, but it's not really crusty looking. It's just, it discolors before it peels off. But the brown is not permanent. So, and I know browsing the web, I saw lots of websites that say, oh, I messed up my skin, I should never have used TCA. That's not the case, you know. The brown, as long as you don't pick, never pick or pull at your skin when it's peeling. You leave it on there, let it fall off, you know, when you're gently washing it or applying petroleum jelly or something like that. Never pick or pull. You can scar your face if you pick or pull, so don't do it. So anyways, the brown is normal. Some people get it, some people don't. I get it sometimes, and sometimes I don't. It's really weird. Another thing is, other areas peel at different times. You're not just going to go and wake up one morning and your whole face is peeling. It doesn't peel from day one. It normally takes at least 3 or 4 days for it to start peeling. So, you know, if you're too afraid to use it before going to work or whatnot, start it, you know, Tuesday night or something like that. Because the majority of the peeling might be, not all every time, but it might be done, you know, that Saturday or Sunday. If you're afraid of too much peeling, like if you do have a job and you don't want to look crazy going to work and stuff like that, try 10%. If you're not happy with the 10%, you could always do, like I said, layers. Because if you use 10% and you do a second layer, that means you did your 20%. In other words, it doubles every time. So, and 3 layers is 30%, and it goes on and on and on. If you do your stretch marks, it's great for stretch marks. I love it. I gave birth twice. I had stretch marks all over the place. I've been using it like crazy because I love it. Each time I usually do about 20-25%. And each time I do, it looks, the first time it brought all of my stretch marks pretty much like to the surface. And then each time it peels it away really well, and it firms it at the same time, and it doesn't come back. I mean, once it peels, your stretch marks aren't going to come back unless, of course, you know, gain or lose weight or have another baby, things like that. But this is a permanent result to your stretch marks. It takes some time. They're not going to go away immediately after first use, but you will definitely see a difference every single time you use it. Some people wait several weeks in between treatments for stretch marks. As soon as I'm done peeling for my stretch marks, I apply another layer. I'm not going to go and wait because that's fresh, new skin. It looks great and everything like that, but you know, I still see my stretch marks. I'm going to go and do another layer. And that's what I do. It takes more time with stretch marks to peel than it does with your face. I'm not really sure why, but it takes about at least a week, maybe 2 weeks to fully finish peeling after stretch marks begin peeling. Whereas your face is about 1 week you're done. Maybe some people it might take 2 weeks. don't try to use a lot of fancy soaps or anything after your chemical peel. Use bar soap, Dove. I wouldn't recommend using anything else. And also, don't use lotions or anything else. After you're done washing, pat dry and apply petroleum jelly. I don't use any kind of oils or lotions or anything else besides petroleum jelly. So I think I got it pretty much covered. Feel free to comment or ask any questions you want below this video. So like I said, let me know if you have any questions. My eBay user ID is Chemical Peels. I'll try to put it in the description box so you can see my products. So happy peeling!